1999 was a year of momentous happenings with a devastating earthquake, fears of a millennium bug, and a change of president for South Africa. A new era was dawning in South Africa when the country said goodbye to its first black president and welcomed its second. Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as president at the inauguration ceremony in Pretoria. That day also marked Nelson Mandela's retirement from political life. Meanwhile, in southeastern Europe, a human flood of refugees, caught in rain and cold on both sides of the border of the Serbian province of Kosovo, had overwhelmed relief efforts in what a NATO general called a humanitarian catastrophe. Tens of thousands of ethnic Albanians, desperate to flee Kosovo, were stranded at the border after Macedonia effectively closed its frontiers in April. The government ordered a partial military mobilization to beef up security in the area around Blace, where at least 40,000 ethnic Albanians were camped in rain-drenched fields with little food or water after fleeing the conflict between Serbian security forces and separatist ethnic Albanians in the southern Serbian province. Meanwhile, at the Macedonian-Yugoslav border, thousands of refugees camped out in the open air in the nearby fields stretching away from the border post. In nearby Bojani, NATO troops helped to erect one of the first refugee camps to shelter at least some of the estimated 70,000 ethnic Albanian refugees who had arrived in the country. The UNHCR estimated that about 250,000 ethnic Albanians had been driven from their homes. Across the Aegean Sea, the official death toll in the Turkish earthquake had reached over 17,000. Rescue workers continue to search for survivors from Turkey's worst earthquake in 60 years. The quake, the deadliest since December 1939, measured approximately 7.4 on the Richter scale. Angry residents accused the Turkish government and the military of not doing enough in the immediate aftermath of the quake. With more than 40,000 people injured and thousands more missing and buried under rubble, the toll was expected to rise further as rescue teams recovered more bodies than survivors from beneath the rubble. As each hour passed, hopes of finding more people alive beneath the tons of debris faded. The quake, which struck at 3 in the morning, was centered on the northwestern industrial city of Izmit, some 90 kilometers east of Istanbul, Turkey's biggest city, which links Europe and Asia. Most of the dead were crushed in their sleep as the force of the earthquake destroyed apartment blocks across the Marmara Sea region, Turkey's most heavily populated area and its industrial heart. People began camping in the open as estimates of those made homeless by the earthquake rose to more than 100,000. As 1999 was drawing to a close, Asian countries were embracing the new millennium in different ways. Filipinos shrugged off fears over possible Y2K bug problems and geared up for street parties. Thailand officially opened its national Y2K command center.
That we will keep watching our neighboring countries like New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and Singapore, which they have they will reach midnight ahead of us, and we'll be observing how they perform, and that will also help us how to correct ourselves in Thailand.
The Y2K or millennium bug problem was thought to relate to computers and computer systems whose date fields denote years by the last 2 digits, raising the prospect of computer crashes when 2000 began. In Hong Kong, authorities ensured safety at the Hong Kong International Airport, one of the busiest airports in Asia. More than 120 additional air traffic control officers were deployed at the airport on December the 31st to activate Y2K contingency measures. Up to 82 flights had been cancelled for New Year's Eve, and 131 cancelled the next day. All this proved to be mostly a waste of time, though, as end of the millennium revelers got into swing across the globe. From Antarctica to London, the festivities reached fever pitch as the clock ticked over into the 21st century. 1999, another year of momentous happenings.